Hello one and all to this Python-101 installation video thing. So we've looked at installing Python and Visual Studio, we've looked at Python and PyCharm, but now we're going to look at Python and Visual Studio Code. So first things first is, as always, this is my Windows 10 Visual Studio installation machine. I've kept PyCharm installed because why not? But what I'm going to do is go to my browser, go to actually you can go to Visual Studio. It should come up with the same place, and Visual Studio Code, download for Windows 64-bit. I assume that if you've got a Windows 32-bit machine, it will say Windows 32 there, so no need to worry. So install that. That is now downloading. We're going to run, and cool. So what I'm going to do as well, I can't remember the command off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to Google this kind of on my other machine. But there's accept agreement, and next. Well, what was that one? Yeah, that's fine. Next. Add to path, fine. Yeah, we can add these two. These are quite nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to create a desktop icon. Install. Okay. So, like PyCharm, Visual Studio Code is a cross-platform text editor, code editor, IDE, however you want to say it. Which means that we can do the same thing for Linux machines. And the way we do this is, if I bring my terminal over, we're not going to use the apt package manager. Instead, we're going to use snap. And what we'll do is sudo snap install, and we're going to need the classic version, and code. So if I press enter, put in my password. So you're going to see the code is already installed, which is fine, and if I put in code, I don't know which screen it's going to come up with. We're just going to get rid of those. The code brings up the last things that you're working on, and those are just things that are for videos down the line. But as you can see, this is what you would get. And as you'll see in just a second, it's exactly the same as the Microsoft version on Windows 10. But if you're on Linux, just use snap install classic code and you'll be absolutely fine and raring to go. And yeah, that was quite easy actually. So now Visual Studio Code is installed on our Windows 10 machine. So that's all fine. Now, there's a few bits and pieces we need to sort out to get our Python stuff working. So if you that's fine. So yeah, if you go down to here, which is extensions, go to Python, press install. That's now going to install not Python itself, but a kind of an the Python extension for Visual Studio Code. So it will provide things like linters for us and IntelliSense and stuff like that. So code completion essentially, which means that hopefully if we do all of that, cool. If we now go to open folder, and I'm just going to call Python put. Select folder. This is going to open essentially a Visual Studio workspace for us. We're now going to create. Can I? I'm sure there's one there, but no. What we can just do very quickly is go to new, go to main.py, and there we go. So print Oopsie. Oh, well, there you go. Python extensions now installed. Yay. We've already created a Python extension, but hey ho, we can do that anyway. Go away. I'm just going to save. Go out of that. We've got main.py, so we'll use this one, and we'll type in hello world, and run. And as you can see, we've got a hello world there, so good stuff. Oh, a linter for Pylint hasn't been installed. Okay, so it doesn't install linter. It's going to now though. And in fact, if we go up, you'll probably see pip install. So pip is kind of like a Python package manager, and it's really useful for installing, you know, packages like NumPy, TensorFlow, PyTorch, things like that. IDEs like Visual Studio and PyCharm kind of mask the pip installation process, and it automates everything using the GUI. But if you're using Visual Studio Code, then you're going to have to use like pip install blah. So that's now, that's installed. We've got a hello world there, and we've also got our little IntelliSense working as well. So this is telling us what sort of stuff we can do. Let's see, I might use, oops. Let's try. Okay, so yeah, it also shows us what imports we can put on as well. So you may have some of these, you may not. Some of them you probably won't. Things like import. Is that a ROS thing or a Python thing? I have no idea. I'm pretty certain this is a ROS based thing and not necessarily a Python thing. Oh no, it actually might be a Python thing. Hey, in which case, yeah, you've got that too, which is cool. So, what else? Actually, so in the previous video, you probably saw that we installed Python, which was fine. But what we actually installed was the Python 32-bit version of Python, if that made sense. What we actually want, or it's not that we actually want it, it's that the Python 64-bit version allows us to use more RAM. The Python 32-bit version I think only allows us to have 2 or 4 gig of RAM. So if you're creating a big application which needs a lot of RAM, then Python 64-bit is going to be the one that you want. And to do this, we go to download and Windows, because we're on a Windows machine in this case. Blimey, there's a lot of versions. Can we not just go to... Oh, there we go, that was easy. Just click downloads, then go to 3.8.5, which is this one. Click on it, and go down to Files, and here we go. So we've got the x86 version, which is 32-bit, and we've got an executable installer like before, and here we've got a 64-bit executable installer. So I'm going to install the 64-bit version, run, wait for it to install, and install now, and now it's installing the 64-bit version. So now we've got a 32-bit version and we've got a 64-bit version. No worries. Are we done? Yay! And close. Now we go back to here. Now we're probably still going to use we're still using the 32-bit version of Python. So what we can do, Control-Shift-P to enter this kind of command window with Python, and there'll be somewhere a interpreter. Where is it? Can we just put Python interpreter in? No, that was clear. We don't want that. We want Python. There should be a change option or a select interpreter. There we go. Python select interpreter. Okay, so it's only picking up the 3.8 32-bit version. No worries. We can enter the path. Just go to browse. Right. Well, where's Python installed? We might just be able to go cd. Where is? Maybe not. Oh, we can. Good stuff. And it seems program files. Oh, fine. No, I'm pretty certain. Continue. Yes, whatever. Fine. Where is it then? Hold on. Where is it? Actually, why can't I just... There we go. I can just do that. So, more open file location, and we want that one. Open file, and here we are. So yeah, Python 3.8. Okay, it was stored in app data. That's why. Okay, no worries then. So this is the location we want. So we can go to properties, copy the location, all of that, copy, and hopefully we can select interpreter, enter the interpreter path, copy and paste, okay, new. And now we are using the 64-bit version of Python rather than 32-bit. So there we go. So as a recap, as PyCharm is also installed, we'll just go up and show how we can select our interpreters. Go to new project. Now, as you can see, this is going to the 32-bit version of Python. So we want, let's say we want a new environment, why not? Go away. This, yeah, so this is actually the one that we want, so Python 38 or 3.8 in this case. So actually, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. So 3.38-32 is the 32-bit version, 3.8 is the 64-bit version. So if we now create that, or just using the existing interpreter, system interpreter, and we want that one. Okay, that's now gone to the 64-bit version, sorry. And we can just check to make sure, add oh, we need to create something, obviously. Python file. I didn't spell name right again, but hey ho. Come on. There we go. Python. And that's still the 64-bit version. We go inside our folder, main.py, apply, OK. Run. And yeah, we're using the 64-bit version in this case. So I guess this video has been installing Python, the Python using Visual Studio Code and Python 64-bit. We've also had a brief look at selecting the correct interpreter for a project, whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit. Additionally, you know, even though we were only changing 32-bit or 64-bit, we can change the entire Python version, so go from 3.7 to 3.8 or 2.7 and 3.8. Although if you're on 2.7 and you're not doing any like Ubuntu development for 1804 or below, you should be on Python 3 by now, ideally, unless obviously, you know, there's a specific package out there that requires 2 point something. but enough of that. So yeah, this was just a quick video because now we have all of our IDEs fully and completely installed. Close all, there we go. So thank you very much. This is the final installation video. We've now got absolutely everything we need and want for our Python development, Python 101 series. So stay tuned for more good stuffs.